Hello YouTube, I'm your Huckleberry, and this is the Civivi Wyvern. A recent release from Civivi here, and let's get into some specs. We're looking at 7.9 inches in overall length with a 3.45 inch blade length. The thickness on that blade is going to be 0.12. We do have a D2 blade here. It is unmarked, but it is D2. D2 blade with this drop point blade shape, and it is a hollow grind with a beautiful satin finish on it. These are FRN handles here, and it is a stainless steel liner lock, as you can see there. All right, let's get a weight on this guy with the AccuWeight scale. See what it weighs here. All right, and 3 ounces. That's a really good weight. That's a good weight because this is a 3.45 inch blade length, and we're looking at 3 ounces in overall weight. So you're under the ounce an inch kind of standard there. That I like it when knives hit that. You know, it's not a necessity. The weight doesn't. A weight of a knife doesn't bother me so much, but you know, it's just always nice to have something nice and light to carry. And so, you know, and it's nice when they stick to that, you know, about 1 ounce for 1 inch of blade length or under, and this is definitely under. So that's really nice. Let's look at some size comparisons, shall we? Let's bring out the trusty Kershaw leak here. As you can see there, the Wyvern is going to be a good little bit larger there in terms of overall length and blade length. Try to get that lined up there. So yeah, larger than the leak, which the leak's a smaller knife. Let's look at it against the large Benchmade Griptilian. There you go. Now that's a good size comparison there. That's about dead on. So if you've handled a large Griptilian, that's about the length that you're going to get with the Wyvern here. So that's good. Let's look at it against, how about this one? A new guy that I just got here. I'm showing you for the first time, the ZT 0562, not a new knife, a classic knife, but with the tiger stripe finish, a sprint run there from ZT. I love the tiger stripe finish. I have the tiger stripe link too that you've seen, and I love it. But this is not about the 0562. This is about the Wyvern, which I also like, spoiler alert. And so there you go. In terms of overall length, not bad actually. About pretty comparable. The ZT is going to be a little bit larger. It's definitely going to be heavier. But in terms of overall length and blade length and everything else, pretty comparable. Pretty comparable. And let's look at it against one more. How about another new one? Let's break out another new one. How about the little Bestech engine there? Quite a bit larger than the engine in terms of length and blade length and everything, but weight-wise, I'm going to bet not so far off, honestly. I haven't weighed the engine yet, but just by the feel, which the engine is not heavy, but neither is this, I'm going to say it's not so far off. But there you go. All right, there's your size comparisons. This is, of course, made in China by Civivi. And let's get in to some pros and cons, shall we? The first pro that I like is the handle, the scales, the handle material here, the way that they're done, the pattern. They look like scales, like a dragon scales, which a Wyvern, that's what it is, I believe, in kind of the fantasy, in kind of fantasy world language or whatever, in fantasy novels and whatever. A Wyvern is a young dragon, I think, or a type of dragon. It's a scaly lizard type creature. That much I know. I've played enough, now it just escaped me. Elder Scrolls. I've played enough Elder Scrolls to know that. So, but I really like it. It's different. I like that it's different. It's not something that you see really at all. I like it when companies go out there and aren't afraid to try something different, and that's definitely different, and I really like it. It's not only, you know, it doesn't only look good, it's functional because it gives you some good traction, I feel like. And here it is in my extra large hands. It fits really well, feels really good in my hands. And you can even choke up there. There's enough of a finger choil there to choke up if you wanted to. And you know, it's a full 4-finger knife in my XL hands. And it feels, there it is, kind of a hammer grip. It feels really good, really good. So the ergonomics of it are excellent as well. That's another pro. The fit and finish of it, excellent. All the edges are nice and rounded. It just fits in the hand so well. There's no sharp edges, no hot spots. The clip doesn't provide a hot spot. Everything is nice and rounded, even the blade. There are no sharp edges. It's all been finished just really, really well. Really well. Underneath, everything, lock bar, nothing sharp on it at all. It's just really well finished. It is on bearings. That's why you get that really good action there. That's the next kind of positive there, is the action, and the bearings are really good. You are getting a D2 steel here, of course, as I said. It is a completely sterile blade. There's no logo on the blade. There's not even a blade steel marking. It is completely sterile, and I really, really appreciate that. I like that there's just nothing on that blade, and it's just a beautiful satin finish stainless steel, D2 stainless, or D2 is not truly stainless, but it's just a beautiful steel blade. And so I love that. I love the blade. I love the blade shape. I love how it looks, the kind of the lines of it, the way it just kind of, it's really nice. It just looks nice. It all flows together well, and feels great in hand. If you can't tell, I'm going to gush over this knife because I really like this knife a lot. It was very sharp out of box. It's a good slicer. It's got a nice hollow grind to it, so it slices very well. It was sharp out of box. Civivi does a good job with that generally. The D10 on it is dialed in, which is a part of that good action. I mean, I don't think I can get this knife to fail if I tried. I'm going to try. No. See, I'm trying really hard to get this knife to fail, and it won't fail. Let's try it like this. No, I can't get the knife to fail because the D10 it's dialed in. It's great. I do like that it has milled liners. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Yeah, you can kind of see there. It does have milled liners, which again help with that. I mean, it's a light knife. It's 3 ounces. That's light just about any way that you cut it. And the stainless steel liners are milled, which help with that weight. I like that both ways are good to open. You can open it with the flipper, of course, which is the way it's designed. But, you know, when they add a deployment hole, I like that you can actually use the deployment hole to open it. It actually works. And if you are someone who can middle finger flick, I am not. As you can see, that's how I can get it to fail. I can try to middle finger flick it. I can't do that, but you would be able to do that with this knife. You'd be able to flick it with your middle finger there. It had a rock solid lockup, absolutely zero play in any direction. This is also, I like that this is a budget option of the Wii knives, which Civivi is Wii's budget brand. Wii knives has a folder called the Draken. And it looks like this. It has the same kind of scale pattern, but it is an integral titanium frame lock. And it has, I believe M390, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. It has an M390. I think it either is M390 or something pretty equivalent to M390 as the steel. I think it was either M390 or S35. And anyway, it's a upper end steel. It's a higher end steel. And it's basically it is basically a copy of that knife with just D2 and FRN so that they can get the price down, which is fantastic. That's great. I like when companies do that. I like when they offer a design in a higher end, a really cool design at that, in my opinion, with higher end materials, but they will also offer that, because if you really like the design but just don't want to pay, because I believe the Draken is going to be in the $350 range, which is a lot for a knife. Of course, that's maybe not comparatively when you really get into knives, but for most people, $350, that's a good chunk of change. So if you really like the design but just don't want to pay the $350, well, how about you pay $50? because it's $350 or more. I'm not 100% sure, but it's right in that range. And so how about you pay $50 and get basically the same design, just with D2 steel and FRN handles? Man, that's fantastic. I love that. I love that they did that, because I love the Draken, and I might get my hands on a Draken. I've been debating on whether I want to pick one of those up or not, because I really like it, because I really like this one, and I know I would love the Draken, and I might just have to do that. But this also, what this does, if you're not sure about a design, you're not sure how you're going to like it, this will give you probably 90% of the feel of the Draken for $50. And so you can buy this, try it out, and if you really like it, then you can, put your funds towards the higher end version with the higher end materials. And so I like that, they almost give you kind of a tester to see if you want and I think that's a brilliant idea by WE, because I think that that's going to be the hook to get you into a lot of their higher end knives. Because if this $50 knife is this good, and I love this knife, if it's this good with the detent and the finishing and the uniqueness and all of that, because they almost made it like an integral, because you got, they give you almost kind of the feel of an integral, because you get the kind of the full backspacer here. There's only enough room for that flipper tab, to clear. But outside of that, it's all, they even almost give you the feel of an integral with that kind of full backspacer there, which is great. And so you're getting a really good feel for whether or not you would like the higher end version. And I think that's a really smart thing to do. I think that's a really smart business strategy to get people hooked in with the budget options in order to get them to step up to the better options. Because you got to be thinking, well, if this knife is this good for $50, then the higher end version with the premium materials is going to be really good as well. Because if they pay this much attention to a knife that you're paying $50 for, how much more attention are they going to pay to the knife that you're paying $350 for? It's got to be better, right? I mean, because you're paying so much more. Hopefully it would be. Like I said, I haven't handled one, but knowing WE's work, it's every bit as good. It's going to be a really good knife. And so that's what, I mean, I love what WE's doing there with that. I think it's a brilliant strategy, not only business-wise, and I think it's great that they give you the option to have kind of one of their higher end knives, looks and designs for a budget price. I just think it's really good all the way around. I really like I like the overall strategy there and what they're doing. I appreciate it. I like it. Thank you, Civivi/WE, for that, because I think that's really good. There are a couple of cons that I would say here. One, I don't really ever like when the blade and hardware don't match. When you have the silver steel of the blade and the black hardware, that's, I mean, these are going to be nitpicks, guys, because, I mean, there's not a ton to say bad about this knife. I really like this knife. I'll tell you how much here in just a minute, but but I wish that either the blade was black and it had the black hardware, or I wish that you leave the blade alone, because I actually like the stainless blade, and I wish this were, not stainless, but stainless color, that silver steel of the blade, and I wish this were also silver, and I wished it matched a little bit better. That's it. I just like everything to be matching. That's, like I said, that's a taste thing, that's a personal thing, that's a nitpick, but that's just me. I like it when everything matches up. But anyway, it is right hand only. You can see there is no place to put the pocket clip on the left hand. So it is right hand, tip up only. So lefties, lefties, you get left out so much. I'm sorry. But this is our right hand only knife. And this choil right here, I appreciate that they gave you one, but I would like it to be a little bit deeper, because I just feel like that if I'm really getting in there, choking up, doing some hard cuts, moving forward like that, I feel like my finger might slip up there a little bit too easily. And so I just wish that the finger choil, let me get a knife with a good choil here. Here we go. And this is probably, you would say that choil might be too big, but I wish it were a little bit deeper like the Honey Badger here. Because there I have no concern whatsoever that my finger is going to slip up when I am really, using this to do some hard cutting tasks. I have no concern whatsoever that my finger's going to slip off of there with the depth of the choil and the jimping as well. And so I just wish that this choil were a little bit deeper maybe. It's not bad as it is. Like I said, I fit my finger up there, and as long as I wasn't doing, working too hard on it, it would be fine. It'd be fine. Like I said, these are just nitpicks, guys. These are just small things. These are the only things that I could find negative to say about this knife, because I am totally in love with this knife. In fact, I'm willing to call it, I bought it for $49.30 on Blade HQ, and that's about the going rate. So just under $50. This is my favorite $50 knife of all time. That's right. I said it. I'm just going to go ahead and say, you may be saying I'm being reactionary and I haven't given it enough time. I've owned this knife for a little bit now, not too terrible long, but a little bit, used it quite a bit. I'm just willing to say it. Overall, this is my favorite $50 knife of all time. That's it. I think the fit and finish, the action, the uniqueness, everything combined, when you bring it all together, it turns into my favorite $50 knife of all time. I just don't think you're going to find a much better knife for $50. I don't. It's got everything that I like. It's got a unique look. With this, they didn't go with the standard thing. I like that it comes in green. It also comes in black, I believe. I believe you got two options there, green or black. I like the green because, it's a Wyvern, right? It's based off kind of a dragon, and they're generally green. They can come in all different colors, but, green is probably what you think of first when you think of dragons. And it fits my hand well. It's a good size. The weight, it just carries like a dream. It just disappears. It disappears in your pocket, and you wouldn't know if you didn't, if you weren't a knife guy, you wouldn't realize that you were carrying a knife. You could probably slip this into somebody's pocket and them not realize that you had slipped a knife into their pocket. It's so light. If you were like some kind of weird reverse pickpocket person, and instead of taking things out of people's pockets, you put things in. Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be awesome to have just a reverse pickpocket walking around. Instead of taking things out, without you noticing, he puts things in without you noticing. And so you just reach into your pocket and get a nice surprise. Oh, hey, there's a Civivi Wyvern there. Awesome. I think that would be cool. But anyway, I love this knife. I think it is the best $50 that you can spend on a knife. You get D2 steel, you get bearings, you get an amazing action, you get awesome fit and finish. Civivi, you want my honest opinion, Civivi's about to run away with the $40 to $50 range of knives in that market. That entire market, they're about to run away with it. Because if they're producing things like this for $50, holy cow. I wait for the next Civivi release with bated breath because it's awesome. I love it. It's a great, great knife. Okay, guys, that's enough gushing for one review, right? Okay, so that's going to do it for this one. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, it's okay. Give me a thumbs down. It's all right. I accept that. Whether you loved it or you hated it, if you have any questions or comments, constructive criticisms, leave that down in the comments below. I love reading that. I love responding to you guys and interacting with you guys. I think you will hopefully find me polite and engaging. I try to be anyway. You'll definitely find me polite. Whether you find me engaging or not, it's kind of up to you, but I will definitely be polite. And I look forward to talking with you guys about this and other things. And whatever you do, please, please, please hit the subscribe button and subscribe, because I got a lot more knife reviews coming up, as well as some other gear reviews that I'm working on for you guys coming up. I appreciate all the support that I've gotten so far. The channel is growing at a rate that better than I thought it would. And that's due to you guys, and I appreciate that. Please spread the word if I am someone you enjoy watching. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.